Hi everybody. So today I want to discuss something that has been really missing with my mind as of lately is something I think we all have to confront at some point. And actually at many points. It's the idea of pursuing our ideal version of ourselves. Because we all have, to some extent, maybe some people have thought about this more than other, but to some extent we all have an idea of what the best version of ourselves looks like. And this is the version we would like to become. Now, the thing is that often enough, this ideal version of ourselves is made up of many aspects, many pieces that you combine to create this piece of art. And one of the great struggle with chasing this ideal version of ourselves is that all these pieces can be at their core quite different, which makes it very hard to piece them together. Now, let me try to be a bit more practical here. Maybe our ideal version of ourselves is someone that has acquired certain knowledge about a topic. Maybe it could be skills. I don't know, you want to, unless you think of yourself, of your future self, being able to speak fluently Chinese, who knows? And you're not already a native speaker of this language. Maybe you think of yourself as being a great climber, a great runner, a great software engineer. Could be many things. Another aspect will be that you like your future self to be someone that has gone through specific experiences. It could be a travel. It could be a personal endeavor, maybe uh, an artistical project. Maybe it could be an entrepreneurship endeavor. It could be many things. And all these things could be quite the opposite. And yet you want to piece them together. For instance, myself, I am trying as of right now to learn about sort of practical skill you need in the countryside. Because I'd like to think of myself, at least the future version of myself, as someone that is knowledgeable and has skills with its hands about construction, some basic about farming, and a few things there and there that are related to countryside as a whole. And I've already been on that journey. I have managed to do a lot of the things I would like to be able to do in the future. Um, but at the same time, another endeavors of mine is I want to pursue a career that is only found in big cities. And I don't want at all to be doing some kind of remote, like full time remote working. I have done that in the past. I don't like it at all. I just don't like it. You miss something that is so valuable, which is a great opportunity to have bonds with other people. And this is such a fundamental, important needs of a human being, which is having social relationship and just social interaction as much as you can. And through a computer, this is so sad. And I mean, working a job is something you will do probably 5 days a week, for yeah the biggest part of those days. So just being very alone for that time is a lot. If you add up for the weeks, months, and years and decades you will have to work. So hell no, that's not for me. I don't like remote working. So full remote working, hell no. So you can see now well, the issue I've got. On one hand, I need to do things that are done only in the countryside, and ideally deep in the countryside, deep in the wilderness. That'll be the best case scenario. And on the other hand, I have an endeavors that is only possible to pursue in a big cities, in a big artificial urban settings. So that's an issue. And I think this is something a lot of you might relate to, at least with your own um, piece that you're trying to, pieces that you try to piece together. And the thing is that if those are things you have been wanting for a long time, something you can feel deep in your gut, something that you can call it whatever you want. Maybe it is God, maybe it is the universe, maybe it is nature, maybe it is your gut feeling. But there is some kind of calling, some kind of something deeper than just logical, pragmatical um, ways of thinking. I know what it feels like because I'm literally through that right now. And one thing I try to remind myself to stay sane and still chase all these things is that you don't have to do it at once. Wait a minute. No, it's part of the setting. It's part of the just the background, giving you some things to look at. Maybe I don't know. What I try to remind myself as often as I can is that you can't and you don't have to chase all these things at the same time. Because whenever you want to build something, whether it'll be learn a new skill, learn new knowledge, experience something, you will have to focus heavily on that things. Because here we're talking about something new. So whenever there is something new you want to practice, learn about, it will require a lot of resources, being your time, energy, maybe even money. And there's just so much time and energy and even money that you can have at one time, at one moment. Um, and if you try to split those resources into many endeavors at the same time, that won't work out. What I try to remind myself to do, what I believe is the right thing to at least to go for, is to focus on one thing at a time. Build that thing until it reaches a point where you can decrease drastically the time you put it, the energy, even the money, and just maintain your current sort of mastery of that thing. And then you can focus on the next thing while still maintaining what you build for that other aspect of this ideal version of yourself you're trying to become. I'll give you once again an example from my own life, which is that recently I've graduated from uh, an engineering school in France, and I haven't taken a job. It's been 3 months now, and I have intentionally not chosen to take a job because I wanted to take this time that I have now to focus on other aspects of my life. Because for the past 5 years, my study has been very, very, very intense. It has required from me so much time, so much energy, a lot of sacrifice. Wasn't able to just see my friend, family a lot for many, like long duration period. Also wasn't able to date for some quite long time because I was just so focused on my study. And I am grateful for that time because I learned a lot and now I have a really great degree and I managed to get some very nice internship, which giving me like a lot of practical skills in my own engineering field. And it also allowed me to put some money aside. And I know all these things are going to be infinitely valuable for my future. But now I want to focus on something else. Now I have spent so much on this that I have I have to take a break and I have to pursue other pieces of myself in a way. And as of now, what I'm doing is that I am sort of following what I will call my gut instinct, because there have been many personal projects I wanted to do for a long time. I went and did multiple hikes in the mountains for a time. That was something important to me. I went and I've done like 6 weeks, a 6 weeks trip all across Eastern Europe, which is a part of the European continent that is very important for me because I have roots there and I wanted to learn a lot about this part of the world. And right now, I'm even looking into some volunteering work at farms to have that practical uh, knowledge and develop those skills related to the countryside, as I mentioned about. Um, and so, for me, of course, it is scary because a lot of my friends that have done similar study as me and have graduated at the same time as me, they haven't gone that path. Not at all. What they've done is quite the usual path. They have taken a job right away at the end of their graduation, and a lot of them actually even just stayed in the same company as the one they were in during their internship. And those people, I remember they were telling me, oh yeah, I would like to do something different than my current job at my internship. I would like to see uh, like different tasks. I would like to have just a different environment because there's these things that I don't like, those things I don't like, and there seems to be that thing that I like in that other company or in that other job. And yet, when the time actually came to make a decision, not all of them, but some of them actually just stayed in their job, like they just pretty much took the same job as the one they did in their internship in the same company. And then when I asked them about all these projects they used to have, and just ask them, what are you doing now to try to achieve it, and just are you even do you still even want to do those things? And they tell me like, yeah, I'm still like looking for these other jobs that I would like to try, but I don't really find anything. And I mean, the truth is that they have built such a comfortable environment for themselves. They know their colleagues, they know the job they're working, they know the company, they know the project already they are working on. So, and they have good wages. Like, yeah, they definitely have good wages. So, I don't want to blame them or judge them or anything because I do think there is some value in that, in a way, or choosing that safe path. Because sure, they're gonna have those safe jobs that there's very little odds they will be fired or just they will lose their job. The chance are really low, and they have good salary, so it's not bad. But that's not what I want for myself. There's such a complex vision and picture I have for my future self, and I rather take some risk, don't have a job for time, and maybe struggle a bit once I finally come back into the job market, trying to get a job. And I have actually some good idea of what kind of job I want to do, something different from what I have done in my internship. And I think I could like find quite a lot of meaningful work in those jobs and also learn some very interesting skills. But sure, it'll be a bit harder because I'm, just waiting and doing some other stuff in the meantime. So, so yeah. And I think also another way to put it is that it's not only about this ideal version of ourselves that we would like to become in the future, but also the ideal lifestyle that we would really like to have in the future. And I believe to have this lifestyle, this life that you are really striving for, you need to become the right person for that. And maybe right now you feel like, oh, I want this life, and I don't know, I can have this thing and at the same time this thing. Um, like for myself, it would be like, oh man, how can I get like the house with the big garden while being in a sort of countryside settings, but yet have a job that is usually only found in big cities. Um, Live close to my friends, family, and I'm like, how can I do all these things at the same times? Well, I think something that we have to keep focusing on as of right now when we are young, like in our 20s, um, we have to just build all the pieces necessary to become the right person for that lifestyle. You have to get the knowledge, the skills, the experiences that such person, that the person living such lifestyle has to have. And maybe once you become that person, not only will you actually, in a pragmatical sense, be able to live that lifestyle, but also you will see opportunities that you don't see right now. And even though right now it might seem impossible, you don't know how you're gonna make it. Maybe if you become that person first, maybe then you will see the opportunities coming. You will see some doors opening that you didn't even see before. It wasn't just even a closed door. You didn't even see that in the corner over there, there were a fucking door that was leading towards that place you want to get to. And and yeah, it's really tough, honestly, to keep hope and just keep working. But I really think also is that there's just no other way around because something that is very important is the process itself, the journey. Just don't think only about this destination, because we are, as human, always strive for the end goal. So when you finally reach that end goal, you will strive for the next goal. So I think a life worth living is a life where you always pursue goals that are deeply rooted into your gut instinct, into what you really want. I think this is a life worth living. Yeah. All right. I could talk more, but I think that's gonna be it for my first video. I think it was a bit messy, but I'll get better with piecing together all my ideas into one main sort of flow, one direction, and going straight to one point. But uh, that's uh, that's one of my endeavor, one piece I'm trying to build for myself, becoming that person that is able to tell those stories and ideas in a very easy way to digest for other people. So see you in the next.